Not even Joe Burrow could save the Bengals now. Let's not waste any more time here because the Bengals have been decaying for a while now. This season has been a mess. This team is cooked, and we probably could have put a fork in their season before Monday night's 28-3 debacle against the Broncos. This team is going nowhere, with or without Joe Burrow. He's not saving this team if he returns from his toe injury in a few months. But sure, keep hope alive. Bengals fans and those who constantly anoint this team every offseason solely because they have Burrow, Jamar Chase, Tee Higgins, and beat the Chiefs in the playoffs one time 4 years ago, go ahead and look at the schedule. There might be 3 more upcoming losses with the Lions, Packers, and Steelers next up on the schedule. Continue scrolling through because there's a 3-game stretch against the Ravens twice, with the Bills sandwiched between the 2 AFC North battles. Say what you want about the Ravens' issues and 1-3 start. It's not as bad as what has been going on in Cincinnati for quite some time now. The team can't protect the quarterback, and the defense can't protect the end zone. Even if Burrow was healthy, this defense would probably blow most leads. The Bengals aren't equipped to contend and have 0 chance to compete without Burrow. Chase should have just taken a seat when he decided to tell Coach Zach Taylor that he was open on 3rd down with his team trailing big in the 4th quarter. Maybe backup Jake Browning briefly saw Chase open downfield, but for 4 quarters in Denver, he had no time operating behind one of the worst offensive lines in the league. That was the same situation during the embarrassing 38-point beatdown in Minnesota last week. Cincinnati has been outscored 76-13 in the past 2 games, making its 2-0 start a distant memory. Again, no one will be saving this team. Not Burrow, not Browning, not Kirk Cousins, or any other quarterback available before the November 4th trade deadline. Just fold and take the top 10 pick to draft the best available offensive line prospect or edge rusher. The teams that tie up a significant amount of the salary cap on the quarterback and a few other core players must prioritize the draft to remain contenders and not just trot out a top-heavy roster. But the Bengals have whiffed on several draft picks in recent years. They might have a running back gem in Chase Brown, a 2023 5th-round pick. But he can't do much behind a struggling offensive line. In 4 games, Brown has 133 yards and is averaging 2.3 yards per carry. Hopefully, one of the Bengals' decision-makers stared at the graphic from the ESPN broadcast that listed Burrow's 6 significant injuries since they took him number 1 in 2020. Maybe that gave them a hint to stop paying wide receivers and prioritize the offensive line moving forward. Look, I'll stop bashing the Bengals for wanting to lock down 2 talented wide receivers for their franchise quarterback. But it's strange that this team doesn't do more to keep Burrow upright. I get that this team can't draft and doesn't want to pay defenders, but at least give yourself a chance to win some shootout games like last year's squad, which fell short of the postseason despite Burrow playing at an elite level. Heck, even the Browns made a trade to improve their offensive line. I'm not saying offensive tackle Cam Robinson will solve their problems, but at least the Browns are trying to improve their offensive line. Maybe I'm being a little harsh. It's always dangerous forking a team after 4 games, but everyone has been aware of the Bengals' same roster holes for several years now. No matter how much I scream about this team being overrated, https://NFL Fact or Fiction, Bengals are the most overrated NFL team. And riddled with concerns, there will be a large audience that will shrug and stare at Burrow's and Chase's highlights.